You didn't want to go back to the
I
South.
was not coming back to the United States. By then, I kissed the ground when I got to Taranto, Italy, that I felt a free man for the first time in my life. You know, this is my mindset, which was true. And right now, I think about that. I said, well, yes, I did do the right thing. I hadn't ever planned on coming back to this country again. My father, my mother died, my sisters and brothers notwithstanding. I said, I care less about flying. I'd had enough flying. I was flying then, but I wasn't the pilot. I was crew chief at that time on the B-25 that we had. Got a picture of it there somewhere. Everywhere the B-25 went, I went. And I'd sit in the pilot in the co-pilot seat, because quite often just be just the two of us on the plane going to pick up some people at rest camps and things like that. Going always behind the line. We didn't have any guns. We'd have P-51 or something following us around where we'd go. And nice sitting there watching these guys sit out there and protect us. But even though we were behind the lines, we had to be protected, because they would come down and shoot down anything they saw, just unarmed. And we had a A-20A, I was crew chief on the first. After, see, I was the only crew chief on the bomber over there, because we were in a fighter group, and I had lost 2 pilots.
Oh.
I lost 2 pilots, and by that time and it had gotten on me anyway, losing my best buddy over there. When I lost Chuck, that was it. He and I were together with this P-39. We were going to go over there and we were going to shoot up the world. I was going to be the crew chief. He's the pilot. And he got over there and transitioned from the P-39 into those. We first, in the 302nd Fighter Group, we went over there as 3 squadrons flying P-39 tricycle landing gear fighter planes with the 37 millimeter cannon shooting through the nose. And you don't see those too often, because they're really not an effective fighter aircraft. And so what we did was, we were so effective at doing that, they were doing the Casino landing, you remember the Anzio landing? Well, we got there in January, left here in December, January the 3rd, 1944. See, I get these years.
Yeah.
And it took us about 30 days to get there. So it was about the end of January, and we kept those. And Casino was around February and March. It was hot. We was just behind the line. The Germans were bombing our base at Capodichino Airport every night. 11 o'clock at night, you could tell the time by them. I'm telling you, that along with Mount Vesuvius erupting, they must have dropped something in the Mount Vesuvius. It was a volcano that had erupted in centuries, it looked like. You've heard of Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii. That, Germans must have dropped something in it. I don't know, but it erupted at night, and they came along at night. And so you couldn't dig a foxhole, because although we were on a base, a standard base, we weren't out in the field like we were later on. We were on a standard base. It's the airport of, it's Capodichino Airport of Naples, Italy. We took over that airport.
Oh.
But you couldn't dig a foxhole. We didn't have enough place to billet you into. If we did, I wouldn't want to be in those buildings there, because they took care of the buildings at night. They bombed our aircrafts at night. We threw hell for a little while over there, just getting away from them at night and finding a place to hide. Some of us found places at the end, down at the end of the runway. There was a drop-off, and the Germans had dug some of them discovered a tunnel up underneath the mountain.
Wow.
And when you get up underneath the mountain, it turned out that there was a big room. That's it. But man, I was standing there. I would jump off and get down at the entrance to that tunnel and stop. I never did go in there. I had a phobia that something was going to happen. They were going to close up. Well, anyway, that's all. We went through all of that, and this is enough war in itself. And every day we got to go patch up our planes and get the guys up, and they were flying. Good pilots. They were as good pilots as we were mechanics, crew chiefs, and armorers, and ground crew. And so, Chubby Taylor, a pilot, lost his life in transition over into